Hello everyone, my name is Fanian and welcome back to another episode of Random Indie Game. So today we're playing Fate of Kai, which is a comic puzzle game. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. So I'll just let the game explain itself. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. And in fact, we are already into it. So basically this game works as a book. Alright, so let me read up for this one verse. Brought into a sleeping world, Kai felt displaced. One day came understanding. The world is right. And he stopped thinking for himself. A way he would carry forever. Chapter 1. Awakening. So the game itself doesn't actually have a dialogue. So you are supposed to basically understand what happened based on the picture. So forgive me if I misunderstood some of these pictures. Alright, so Kai wakes up in a sunflower field and apparently he does not expect himself to be in there. And then as he walked along this sunflower field, he found a big chungus with a sunflower on its head. And this big chungus is eating some sunflower seed. Now, Kai investigates this big chungus, and as he tries to investigate him, he gets away. And then he finds a mysterious chest hidden somewhere. So, the mechanic of this game is quite simple. You can grab this word, well, it is literally grab. So, anything that has a yellow box in it, you can grab it, and that will be stored in your inventory. And your inventory can only hold as much as 3 words. Now, you are supposed to use these 3 words inside of this like speech bubbles to alter what happens. Now, what happens if you don't alter them? Well, you basically lose. Kai paid no attention to the chest he stumbled upon, continuing on his path. Maybe there was some big adventure waiting for him, if only he had decided to grab the chest. So, we're going to rewind back, and now we're going to put this there. So, one more important thing is that the word that you already put there, it basically disappears from your inventory. So, in a way, this is quite similar to Lost Words Beyond the Page, which is a game I played before this one. But the difference is that all the words are disappearing every time you use them. So, right. And then as he investigates the chest, suddenly the chest gets angry and captures him using some shackles. And apparently the shackle has an important information telling him that he needs to bring this chest to a castle. He tries to pull it out, he tries to break the chains, but apparently chains cannot be broken by a mere mortal. If I were him, I would try to look for a workshop or somewhere so that I can basically destroy the chains using some workshop tools, but apparently Kai decided to sit on that chest and ponder his misfortune. Suddenly, he realized that there is a castle on top of the mountains waiting for him to go there. And wouldn't you also know it, that the big chungus has decided to show up and help him to weigh the chest down, which is not really useful, if you ask me. Alright, so that is chapter 1. So it was, with ideas not his own, Kai walked the trails of youth. Always arriving to his starting point, comfort gray and simple. Never glancing over things past. Okay, chapter 2, Rock and Clock. Alright, so Kai finally pulled out the chest, and apparently the big chungus has decided to leave him be. And he stumbled upon a river with like a very raging currents. So, knowing that he cannot actually cross this river with the chest, because otherwise he will drown with the chest, he decided to climb the mountain instead, which is weird. And as he climbed the mountain, apparently that the mountain itself is quite unstable, and he falls down flat on his back. And wouldn't he know it, his misfortune does come double-fold, and there is a rock coming to him, so he decided to jump. And he made it just in the nick of time. And then he was greeted by this elderly figure which wears some kind of like a farmer hat. I don't know the name of the hat though. And apparently this guy teaches Kai not teach us actually, just show Kai that he can make a jump one step at a time on the rocks, which is like conveniently placed in the streams. So Kai, okay, so this is where the story loops itself, because apparently when the story loops itself, you are supposed to do something about it. Now, the problem here, the puzzle begins because if you try to grab these words, the story just ends because Kai couldn't come up with an idea to overcome the obstacle in his way. So, we cannot take these words directly here. And we cannot just take this word directly either, because if that happens, then Kai was crushed by a falling rock. Maybe he could have avoided it somehow. So you cannot grab these words, and if you keep like forward, then you will basically go back to the first page, and that's pretty much the puzzle itself. Now, the way that you solve this is that it is okay for you to grab the word as long as you are not traveling forward. And if you are not traveling forward, then you can go backward, and would you know it, you can. Now, we just need to basically switch this one, so switch this with jump, because we are following that elder guy, and then we are going to proceed. So Kai decided to carry the chest with his hand and jump against the rocks until he managed to reach the other side. But apparently he came quite short, and the currents are threatening to carry him with them, so he decided to climb this ledge. And apparently that elderly figure doesn't care about his well-being, but Kai does care about these creatures, which is I think like a turtle, which just recently hatched from the a nearby egg, and Kai decided to help him by putting him inside the current, and apparently he beats him very well, and apparently the turtle falls. Is that a turtle or no? That's not a turtle. That is a is it a turtle or a tortoise? Turtle. I think that's a turtle. Okay, but why is a turtle in a freshwater though? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, so the turtle seems to love him, and as he beats him very well. So we might want to remember this turtle, because I bet he is going to be important in the future chapters. And there you go. As Kai progresses with his chest, he come across a bridge that is destroyed. Now you may see here that there is this annotation, and basically we can click that annotation, otherwise this will happen. The bridge was the only path towards the castle. Kai sat there, aimlessly wondering what could have happened to it. So, let's rewind time. So long time ago, there was a dragon, and that dragon apparently strikes onto this ground, on this like two people, and that thing actually destroys the bridge. So that dragon is the very reason that the bridge itself is destroyed. Let's rewind time again. And apparently the dragon itself becomes angry with this like two adventurers and basically chase them up. But before that, these two adventurers came upon this dragon lair, and these dragons appear to scream at him sinisterly. So, rewind time again. Apparently these two figures are discovering some kind of like an artifact, and apparently I can just change this, change who carry this to just change the outcome. Okay, so what changes there? So apparently when this guy is carrying it, oh, his friend was shocked that there is like a thunder and he falls flat. And because of that, the bridge doesn't actually collapse for some reason. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Okay, let me rephrase that. Okay, so because of this guy who carries the this urn, apparently that urn was broken during the thunderstorm, because this animal kinda, whatever that animal is, kinda gets shocked by the thunder, and because that thing shatters, it unleashes this ink dragon monster which destroys this bridge. And yeah, so by changing who carries that urn, we are altering history. And because this guy is more is more careful, the urn itself doesn't get destroyed, which means the dragons never come out, which means the bridge was never destroyed. So let's turn back to the present. And now the bridge is not destroyed, so Kai is free to walk straight into it. And then behold, somebody is following him from the shadows. Alright, now we enter chapter 3. He grew to see doors forever shut, and though there were other ways, Kai still took his usual stance, never to gamble on himself, hence why his reflection returned anything but victory. Chapter 3. The Gambler's Amusement. Alright, so Kai, it was already nightfall, and Kai decided to finally discover this door, and apparently this door was kept by these two figures which has a blank mask on them, and they ask him to because this door is guarded by these two guys, and these two guys requires money in order for people to pass through. So because Kai doesn't have any money, he just wake up somehow in the middle of a sunflower field with his luck that he still have some clothes on. So that guy pointed him to a money source, and he decided to go his merry way. And then as he travels along, he discovers a gambler's hut, and because of that he tried to knock and try to look inside the hut, and apparently nobody is there, so he just collapsed. And because of that, Kai lied down, bitten by fatigue. He fell asleep while wondering about whatever he could be happening inside. So why don't we take a look inside, shall we? So inside this thing was two people gambling. Now this big guy is known as a master gambler, and when they get out, he discovers Kai resting on his doorsteps. And because of that, he saw that he has a chest, and that chest is not taken for some reason. No, he just left. He just left Kai lie on the ground. So Kai slept while his only chance of getting the coins slipped right through him. Were he able to enter the house of beds, things might have been different. So let's rewind time and probably get this word while we're at it, because we are going to change how the story plays out. Now, okay, that's only returns that. We are going to change a little bit event here, which is that when he slammed his hand on the table, his drink fall out. And when that happened, this gambler guy seems to be quite upset with that, and he suffers the wrath of this guy, and basically he get thrown out. And because he get thrown out, Kai just wake up from his fatigue, and well, this gambler guy kind of invites him to enter his house. And then yeah, he welcomes him very, very well, and he decided to gamble. So Kai, of course, because you are trying to gamble something, then you should have something to gamble with, right? You should have like your own wager. So Kai offered them his chest. And this guy immediately see the potential of this chest, and he decided to, alright, let's make a match. So the rules is quite simple. You have 3 cards, each with its own element. So you have the wood, you have I think that's a leaf, you have a fire and water. Now each of the players have 3 lives, and now we are supposed to make a prediction. So the rules is quite simple. Fire beats leaves, leaves beat water, water beats fire. So it should be simple enough, right? So what happens if Kai do fire? Then with any luck, then this guy surely will hit leaves, right? Because fire burn leaves, so fire will win. But no, this guy drops water, which means that Kai loses 1 match point to this guy, and he laughs at his expense. Alright, so Kai decided to put water next, and this guy will put leaves. So again, Kai loses. And then Kai puts his last card, which is the grass, and this guy puts fire, which is the last point for him to win. And with that, Kai loses his entire chest, and because he is chained to this chest, then he cannot actually escape, so he was taken with the chest to the gambler. And Kai was bested by the great gambler. The moonlight shone a reflection of sadness upon his face as Kai came to terms with being a prisoner forever. So, reflection is the keyword there, that's the hint. So we are going to rewind time. So, surely that because we can see the future, right? We can see the future on what this guy is going to play. So, why don't we act preemptively? So why don't we grab these words, basically these cards, and decide the fate for ourselves instead of letting how the story will play out. So, okay, let's leave this with fire. So, we surely know that he is going to play water now, right? So what if we play wood, because wood feeds from water to grow. So let's go with grass. And sure enough, this guy seems to know it, and he plays fire, which defeats us. Alright, maybe the first time is going to be like a bad luck. Alright, so we can still win 2 match points, right? So, we try some fire, and wouldn't you know it, this guy plays water. Alright, let's rewind time, and we are going to play water. And this guy is going to play wood, or leaves, and we are going to lose. So apparently this great gambler has a third eye, pun intended, which allows him to see what we have. Now, how are we going to cheat someone who knows what we are going to do next? Easy. We don't play anything. So Kai is quite confused with these rules. So the great gambler are quite furious, and he said, "Kai, you are such an idiot." And he slammed the table very hard, which kind of rattles the mirror behind him. And Kai was a little bit terrified. But because Kai is still confused about the rules, he decided to ask again the gambler to explain to him the rules, because again, if you're trying to bet your own livelihood on some games, it is better for you to understand what is the game all about. The gambler is quite furious, and the mirror finally falls down. But then, the mirror shows exactly what the gambler is holding, so now Kai can act preemptively. So again, water is beaten by grass, because grass needs water to grow. So, this time around, the gambler loses 1 point. Interesting now, isn't it? Okay, so the gambler decided to throw another card. So in this time, what happens? Okay, I don't know what happens if we are draw. So we are both draw. And both the gambler and Kai seems to be frustrated with this. So apparently we cannot actually do a draw, so let's replace that with water. And again, the gambler was quite shocked, judging from his expression right there, that Kai wins the second point. Now, because both of them only has 1 card remains, this means that everything that they are going to play next will not actually going to matter, because there's only fire left and the gambler only have leaves left. So there you go, the gambler was defeated by Kai. And then the gambler was quite furious and he is quite upset. But then Kai decided to console him. And he just asked for a single coin apparently, and then bids this guy farewell. And ominously, there's a figure still following him from the bridge. And there you go, that's the 3rd chapter completed. Bonding has different rules, so Kai kept losing himself in search of acceptance. If there ever was a way out, he was long unable to find it. Chapter 4, What Citadel Masks. Alright, so that's the end of the demo, which is, okay, that's kind of rude. I'm in the middle of recording here. Alright, so that is Fate of Kai, which is a unique, like comic-based, multiple, like branching narrative. Not really, actually. There's only like one correct answer in each puzzle. Anyway, critiques about this game? Not really though. I mean, they kind of give you the hint straight at your face. My only like feedback is that there should be like multiple ways for you to solve a puzzle, and yeah, if they can make that kind of like alternative solution instead, that's going to be quite more interesting, I think. But aside from that, I don't think I have any other feedbacks. I kind of like the music playing in the background. I kind of like the art style that they use in this game. And yeah, the story itself is not that complicated. I mean, the story itself is simple. Nothing bad with like having a very simple story. But yeah, take it as you will. So, if you like this game, if you like what you're seeing here, you can go to the description down below, which will take you to the Steam page of this game where you can wishlist it and get the game once it's out. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like. I usually upload videos like this where I play small and obscure indie games from around the internet every Monday and Tuesday, and also play a series of indie games from start to finish every Wednesday and Thursday. So if you want to get those indie game goodnesses, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified whenever I make a new upload. And yeah, with that, I think I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.